AGM meeting starts. I know some of you could have come so early without breakfast. You can serve a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, just right behind you. Please feel free to serve a cup of coffee or tea. Secondly, our places of convenience, just on my left, you go through there, move up slightly, you will find the places of convenience, and you're most welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are all welcome to UMA, and we are now going to begin. I request that the chair takes his seat, and then we start the meeting. Chair. Members who are picking a cup of coffee can pick, come and have your seat as the meeting begins. Mr. Chair, sir, as you guided that the Secretariat invites your members, we did so and ran a public advert, I mean a public announcement on November 9th, 2022, and the members have turned up, they are here. I want to announce that we already have the quorum. We have both people in presence physically and we have people online. Sir, I've been informed and we have verified that we have the quorum, so we request to hand over to you and you convene your gathering into a meeting.
Thank you, Edie. Dear members, I think we are now fully constituted, and I would like to announce that the meeting starts. Before us, we have an agenda. Or I would call it a program. We have done the first part of registration. We have an opening prayer. We have the anthems. We have the communication from the chair. We have a brief from Owekitiibwa Kadu Chiberu on business prospects that the members can take advantage of, or where we as members of UMA can lead the pack to advance our business ventures. We have the chairman's report. We have the treasurer's report. We shall have the plenary to discuss the issues. Then finally, we shall have our chairman of the advisory board, Mr. Abidi Alam, to give us his closing remarks and close the AGM. I would propose that straight away we go to a prayer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Ummah prayer, so let's join. Let's humble ourselves. God of hope, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for the existence and sustainability of the Uganda Manufacturers Association. We praise you for your light that continues to shine on the godly, and because you continue to give us peace amidst the storms. We pray for your guidance to maximize the productivity of Ummah and Uganda at large. We pray that your grace continues to flourish with the association so that we can continue to grow and expand according to your will. We pray that you continue to empower Ummah leadership, the advisory council, the board of directors, and the secretariat to remain on top of issues for the betterment of the manufacturing industry of Uganda and the region at large. Thank you for continuing to bring peace that has steered the association to meet its objectives. In God we pray and believe. Amen.
Thank you very much, Claire. That was a universal and good prayer. Can we now stand for the anthems?
O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we'll always stand.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano viwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the next it is still working. The next item on the agenda is a communication from the chair. And the report to you members. My written report is in the booklet that has been given to each one of you. If you don't have it, please ask the Secretariat to avail you one so that you can follow. The chairman and members of the advisory board, members of the board of Uganda Manufacturers Association, members of UMA, wherever you are, here and online, the staff and of the Secretariat of UMA, invited guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the first year of the 2 years that you asked us as a board to lead and manage the affairs of Uganda Manufacturers Association. I thank you, particularly members, for the support you have given us through your feedback, through paying your subscription on time, and by assigning us duties and responsibilities wherever you have come to us. I strongly believe that most of you who have come to us have benefited from our work. I thank the advisory board headed by Chairman Abid Alam, Owekitiibwa Kaddu Kiberu, Owekitiibwa Engineer Kalibala, our elder Mayuru Madvan, His Excellency Dr. Professor Sir Gordon Wavamuno, Mr. Amos Nzei, and Madam H.E. Barbara Murwana, who is our immediate past chairman, and most importantly, the wise counsel we have received from our patron, Mr. Aga Sekalala Senior, who always prefers to give me a call and say 1, 2 things. And I appreciate the guidance very much. I thank the Secretariat of UMA, and in absentia, I would like to thank our immediate past Executive Director, Mr. Daniel Birungi, who steered us the most part of the year and guided the board very well. He's not here with us, but please convey my thanks to him. I thank senior management of the Secretariat, middle management. Actually, I have to tell you that I love the way you work. You have been very proactive. You have not had boundaries. And for me, the way you work, I don't want boundaries. That you talk to the chairman, you have to go through X, Y, Z, and then you cannot talk until you get your authority. If it's a burning issue, it is a burning issue. We handle it the way it has come. I thank my fellow members of the board, and this is heartfelt, that you have always found time to be here. Some of you have taken it upon yourself to make UMA a part of your other job. I know of you who are always here on a Friday. I know some of you who are always on the social media defending UMA. I know some of you who are always accessible wherever you are, like my vice chairman here. All of you, I think this is the way to go. We need to teach government how to do business. I think so. Because you find that when you go to a commissioner in government, you say, I have to go to inform the PS, and the PS will be the one to inform the minister, and the minister will be the one to go to the... it's good to be orderly, but sometimes does not solve problems. I've taken this guidance from Owekitiibwa Kaddu Kiberu. He says, go for it, do it. The rest will follow. And this is the UMA philosophy. Do it, the rest will follow. So members of the board, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting this country. Thank you for the ideas you have brought. Dear members, when we started our work, we noted that we are not giving enough in terms of what you need, and we needed to be relevant to you. We agreed that we should make ourselves more available through the membership department. And these days, you don't even need to come here. We'll make a call. Go to our website, register what you want to register your complaint. We shall take it up immediately and run with it. This is the new EMA. We know you have problems. And we have our duty has been to advocate for your well-being with the government. I know of a gentleman here. Director Mubiri, please stand. Before you leave this place, take this gentleman's number. Because he committed to serve you. Take his number, and when you have anything to do with policy, anything to do with the issues that we normally have in business, URA, UNBS, you should run to him. And at EMA, we have taken these issues seriously. In some areas, we have gone to the advisory board and asked them, sir, I know you are busy. I know you are in your retirement, but can't you come and fill up here so that, because when they hear your voice, they will listen. The ministers are your age. You went to school with the ministers and the other government officials. Please come and fill up this. This is what we've done with the Engineer Kalibala. We have sent him to UNBS. And he has not gone there to advocate for transformers. No. No. He has gone there to advocate for your issues. So, through policy, we have done quite a number of engagements. We have met the president several times. We met him in Ntungamo. Yes, on Monday and Tuesday, I was in Chobe, meeting him on the same issues of import substitution, duties on our raw materials, IFRIS, which is threatening to drive us out of business, the issues of reworking the ledgers of people for 10 years. Yet every year they have been coming to you and giving you ticks. This year you okay. The other year you okay. The other year you okay. And after 10 years, they rework the ledger and come to you. You have so much to pay. Why? Why have, for all the years, you have been telling me that I'm compliant, and now you come to me to tell me that I have so much to pay? I know all of you seated here have these problems, but you are working. The other day at Chobe, we agreed that we make a committee comprised of trade, finance, UMA, and URA, so that we resolve these issues. So if you have such issues, I told you to pick the number. Thank you very much. We have met on issues of power. For 5 years, we are promised that we are going to get 5 cents per kilowatt hour. And we have been waiting. In some areas, they tell me it has come, but to you, the pioneers, who found yourself building a factory in Kawempe, another one in Busunju, another one in Ruero, you have not seen any bit of this. And they are telling us that to benefit from this, government has to purchase power in bulk and drop there. So you, the pioneer, you may have to wait a little bit. But we are working. We are twitching the law. We have very able people here who are going to twitch the law and get us to benefit from this. We have been handling the issues of steel. Steel has too many issues. That we have the biggest import bill in Uganda. We import close to $1 billion. And yet, yet we have the highest quality iron ore in Rwanda. We have iron ore in Imuko. So these issues we have been discussing with the government. There are also issues of import substitution where anybody who says, I have some capacity, government says, put 35%. And some of them are liars. You say, I produce this, put 35%. Produce this, put 35%. A case in point that we have on the table, and after this meeting, I'm going to the Honorable Minister of Finance, is industrial sugar. One of our members and one of the industrialists claimed that he produces industrial sugar. And they put very high duty on industrial sugar. And now, we are going into Christmas season. Our children need to drink soda. Our children need sweets. Our children need that and that. There's no industrial sugar, and the supplier cannot supply. So these are the issues that we are working on in a firefighting manner, but we're on the ground. We have had frequent meetings with ministries. We met the Secretary General of Africa Continental Free Trade Area to open markets for you so that we don't produce and sit on our stock. And as you see in the screen, that is the Secretary General, Mr. Mene, of Africa Free Continental Area. He has pledged to put in place policy that allows us to sell to each other in the entire African continent. And while I was here, we also agreed on some points of how to handle quality and the others. We have had frequent meetings with our parent ministry, Ministry of Trade, Industry, Cooperative and Tourism, and they are supporting us. In fact, when we started, we are not on the same page with our parent ministry, and we are wondering, the Minister of Trade is one of our own. Why are we not? But I think it was his strategy. He has aligned the policy, and now is one of the drivers of industry. And those of you who are here who can get to Honorable Francis Mwebeza, please thank him for us. We have, as a board, brought on board some of our members that were not active. We brought on board the Chinese community. Through my brother Henry Zhang is not here. And we are now engaged in a learning process, how they do their things. Because you cannot remain static. We sit back and complain the Chinese are taking over, they are doing this, they are this. So we have agreed as a board that we infuse ourselves with knowledge and learn from our brothers. We have had one visit to Kapeka, which was headed by Wekitiwa Kadu Chiberu, and learned from them. And dear members, those of you, because we should not sit here and say, I work in Wakiso, I'm comfortable, I don't need to go anywhere, I don't need to say anything. For me, I make my money. No. Approach the secretariat to organize such tour, learning tours for you, so that you see what others do and learn and change the way you do your business. On the board side, we inducted the board, and now all our board members are top-notch. They know what to do. They know. We reinvigorated our strategy which we had earlier, but needed retweaking because we had left it unattended because of the COVID. Now we are on top of the agenda. The board established committees. So far we have about 8 committees, and the committees are on the ground working. So we have one particular committee. In addition to the policy committee, we have one particular committee that handles membership, the membership committee. Please make use of it. And we have set up sector committees. If you are in sugar, we have sugar committee. If you are in textile, we have textile and etc. If you are in steel, we have steel. So make use of these committees to resolve your issues. And the secretariat should write to you a general information telling you the members of this committee and the chairman and how it works. In the last AGM, we made some resolutions and we took action points, and they were all addressed, and the secretary will let you know what we have done. At the secretariat, as you know, Mr. Daniel Birunji left us at the beginning of October. He went for further studies. He wanted to become a doctor. I think he noticed that to play in this space, you need a doctor. And that's what he confessed. That, ladies and gentlemen, I need to retool myself. I need to become a doctor so that I can effectively play in this space. So we said, so what do we do? He told us, the body, I don't know, I leave it to you. So we said, yeah, okay. So we went out there. We found a very able Ugandan that is going to take UMA to the next level. Dr. Ezra Muhumu Zalubanda, come here. Because the other one left us because he wanted to become a doctor. We said, yeah, let's get a doctor. And the Dr. Ezra Muhumu Zalubanda comes with a host of knowledge in policy. He's a policeman. Comes with a host of knowledge in running membership organizations. And by the time you leave here, take his numbers well. He will be able to deliver. The second thing we are doing, we are reinforcing him with another director of policy who should be on board soon, so that your issues can be effectively handled. Ladies and gentlemen, for 2 years during COVID, we did not have any economic activities. And some of the activities UMA is known for is holding trade fairs. We didn't have any trade fair. We could not put people in this hall to make money. We could not do anything. Guess how we survived? Do you know? Do you know how we survived the 2 years? Anybody has an idea how we survived? Let me tell you. And please clap first before I tell you. We only survived because you, the members, noticed that UMA is here for you. And you paid your membership fees on time, all the time. And even when we have written it to you or not, you have paid. And I will ever be grateful to you for patronizing your organization. I didn't know that you love UMA this much. Thank you very much, members. So, when business opened, we went back to our usual business. And I'm happy to you that we have been able to organize one of the most successful trade fairs of our life. And it was so well attended, so well organized, and when you, the members, were able to display your products. I know some of you had done a lot of innovation through COVID, and we saw a lot of new innovations coming up. So this was a very good gesture, and we are sure going forward, we are going to maintain the momentum because we had over 100 companies coming to exhibit, both local and foreign. We thank you for this. In that, we also noticed that people, corporate organizations, had started noticing the work we do as UMA, the policy advocacy, the environmental advocacy, and all these others. And we got a record high sponsorship from corporate organizations. We got sponsorship from Total Energies. We got sponsorship from Tembo Steel. We got sponsorship from the Secretariat of Science and Innovation of Government. The government has started noting that it needs to partner with us. We got sponsorship from our own Kakira Sugar Works. We got sponsorship from UNBS State TV and many others. We got sponsorship from Coca-Cola Beverages. We thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. And some of these sponsorship have committed to continue supporting us continuously for several years. This is a good gesture. This is also an assurance that we shall remain financially sustainable for the next few years as we work on areas to make us permanently sustainable. On the estate side, this ground you have here, we have continuously improved the grounds, and you can see the upper ground was paved. The lower ground it is mud-free. We have improved the water and sanitation, and we are continuing. But what my request to you members, that especially those of you that are here, is that we need to reorganize ourselves. So going forward, those of you who have property here are going to subscribe to the way we want the showgrounds to look. Are going to avail your buildings during the trade fair. Because we didn't build these buildings for anything else. We built them so that we can have our trade fairs and held here and the people display their products. So we are working on the documentation. We are working on teaching your subleases. We are working on making you compliant. We are getting organized. We are naming the roads so that when you come here, you know which road you are. And the next trade fair will even be better because we want to zone. If I come here to see electronics, I know where to go. If I come here to see steel, I know to. If I come here to eat, I know where the restaurants are, and I'll find it with ease. That will make the trade fairs more. I'm having a discussion with our elders on how, from here, where do we go? Because we are definitely growing. We want. Did any of you visit the Dubai Expo? Has any of you been to Canton Fair and others? We should be the first one in Africa to do these things. We are the Pearl of Africa. And we are working with our elders to get these things done. We have, going back to policy a bit, to soften the ground for ourselves. We have signed the MOUs with regulatory bodies. We have and the other MDAs. We are signing MOUs with URA, with Export Promotion Board, with the Capital Markets Authority, so that we know, we go inside, know what they are doing, so that we bring it back to you. And you will see quite a number of MOUs coming through in the next few years. Ladies and gentlemen, I've talked, and I have told you what we do. I thank you. Maybe one thing I've forgotten is to thank our partners that have supported us through this process. We have DI who have supported us through the strategic plan. We have UNDP who is supporting us on Africa Free Trade areas and many others. We thank you. We thank them very much. I beg to stop here. My entire report is in this booklet, so when you get time, please read it. Thank you very much. We are going to switch the program a little bit, and I would like to ask the treasurer to present his report to the members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Members, all protocols are observed. I'm delighted to present the Treasurer's report. So it is there in the page number 33 of the booklet. I just take you through a brief of it. If you need more information, I also have the full details. I can also brief whatever you have any questions on that. A strong association requires strong financial backing to enable it effectively implement agreed strategies. Just I want to take you back 3 years back. We were in a much behind in our obligations to the financial institutions, especially we are not able to pay several months of PAYE, NSSF and all. Today we are proud to say that we are on the dot meeting the obligations. So as a lot of transformation has happened. So that's a financial backing has enabled. Over the year, board embarked on enhancing and streamlining UMA's financial sustainability through the following avenues. As Chairman said that we didn't have the trade fair last 2 years due to COVID, 2020 and 2021. We are lucky enough, 22, we could able to host this trade fair, which was a very successful one. Sorry. The revenue collected was from exhibition space, rentals, gate entrance fees, sale of extra exhibitors, resident courts, registration fees, trade fair catalog advertisements, and UGTF sponsorships. Chair is also mentioned, this is the time we got the highest sponsorship ever in the trade fair. So the chair is already thanked on behalf of the finance committee, our chair and the members. So I want to thank all those sponsors who helped to make this surplus budget on this trade fair. This is attributed to the increased cost of space, entry fees, and growth in the sponsorship by 224%. The total gross income raised in 22 was 2,270,716,862 compared to the 1,560,172,851 of 2019. So we are almost 700 million more revenue has been collected in the exhibition. The total expenditure was 944 million with a surplus of 1.32 billion. So this is a notable, any surplus, highest surplus, we got it in this current year trade fair. Thank you for all of you. The second, the chair is also mentioned about it. We sustained during 20 and 21 pandemic only because of the increased membership fee, members taking part in the association. So thank all of you to becoming the members of the association. The year 22, the membership subscription dropped by 9%, attributed to the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic and Russian war that have curtailed business activities across the country. On a lighter note, we have registered a total of 101 new members as a result of the increased relevance of the UMA. Below is a trend of the number of paid up members per category. I just want to give a small highlight on the membership fee at this stage. So just for information, in 2020, our membership fees was collected was 947 million. This was also highest during the COVID period compared to 2019. And 2021, this has gone up to 1.371 billion. So it's almost more than 400 million extra through membership fee alone. This year 22, so far we collected 1.250. We are not very far from the last year, but as of the last information, we have 1.250 billion as membership fee. It's a slight drop compared to last year as of today, but it will be still coming in membership fee. And the second thing, the sponsorships. So again, I want to highlight here, to complete the revenues from the membership, subscription and trade fair revenue, the Secretariat actively sought sponsorship for business networking events and Uganda International Trade Fair. Efforts incurred by the association. Efforts in this regard were particularly targeted at events such as networking luncheons, international trade fair with 224% growth in sponsorship over the year 2019. The progress made thus far in securing financial sustainability of the association would not have been possible without building blocks set in place by the board. So there is also a chart is there just for your information. So far the revenue collected in 2020 was 1.98 billion. In 2021 the revenue collection is 3.2 billion and 2022 is 6 billion. The expenditure side, there has been an increase in the total expenditure, so that's not part of this booklet, but I'm just reading out some synopsis for the members' understanding. Administration expenses are up from 1.6 billion in 2020 to 2.1 billion in 2022. The operating expenses have also from 257 million in 2021 to 1.2 billion in 2022. The major driver of this was the hosting of the trade fair, which has incurred 920 million. The increasing number of projects has also nearly doubled the training, marketing and promotion expenditure of 1.1 billion from Uganda shilling 551 million. This additional is basically on the projects. Chairman also mentioned there are several projects. So one more also I can add is a ready to work project. So a lot of employment has been created. So if I want to say the money collected to project this year is 1.294 billion. Projects has given us this money and out of that we spent around 1.1 billion for the projects. Profitability and financial performance. I'm happy to announce our largest surplus ever in 22. The association has managed an unaudited surplus of 1.5 billion. So we are now cash rich of 1.5 billion in our banks as of now. This is compared to 252 million in 2021 and a deficit of 667 million in 2020. So we made a loss of 667 million in the COVID year of 2020. We come out a bit in 21 with 252 million, but as of now, unaudited accounts, we are at 1.5 billion profit. So net working capital also increased from 420 million in 2021 to 1.66 billion. We have also seen a four-fold increase in our return on assets from 1% in 21 to 4% in 22. Okay, I don't want to read through many other routine things. So otherwise, I'm happy to announce that we are streamlining in our treasury side, and finance committee is really working on towards that achieve the enough funds available for meeting the expenses of the UMA and ensure that all the government obligations are met on time and meet all the expenses. Chair, I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I ask our auditors to come and present the audited accounts, and when we move into the plenary, I have two things to do. But let me do the most important thing first. I would like to recognize the presence of Mr. Joseph Akol, one of our founder members, who is here with us. Mr. Akol, I have to, a small something to say about my Mr. Akol. Young men and women who are here, if you want to learn transparency and accountability, that man, Mr. Joseph Akol, I had a chance of working with him here at UMA. And every time we did something that was not ogling with the UMA, he would stand up and say, no, this is it. And I've learned a lot from Mr. Akol. Mr. Akol, thank you. And thank you for loving UMA and coming to join us. Thank you. And thank you for the lessons you have taught us. Item number 2 is I would like to ask you to adopt the chairman's speak and the treasurer's speak. I don't know whether we should do, let's not mix. First, the chairman's speak. Anybody? Thank you. Anybody to second? Yes, sir. Point of order.
Before you adopt, why can't we ask members if there is any reaction from what you heard from our chairman and comments?
Okay.
Then thereafter,
We can adopt. Well guided, sir. We are going to move into the plenary, but before we move into the plenary, let's hear the auditors, and then we discuss, and then we shall go back and adopt the reports. KPMG, you're here. Come on, present the audited account.
Good morning, members of the Uganda Manufacturers Association. First, I would like to thank you, Chairman. I thank also the board, but ultimately, I also thank the members who are present and those who are not present for having given KPMG the opportunity and the trust to be the auditors of the Uganda Manufacturers Association, and specifically for the year ended 31 December 2021. We take this responsibility seriously, and we have been given that privilege of auditing Uganda Manufacturers Association for the past 3 years, and we are very happy and proud to have seen a fundamental transformation of the association from where we found the association's internal controls to where they are right now. And indeed, having gone through the disruptions of the pandemic, it was a blessing that the disruptions found the internal controls a lot better than they used to be. So it's a pleasure to having been part of that journey, we as KPMG. Chairman, we completed our audit for the year ended 31 December 2021, and indeed, the numbers and the financial performance that has been presented by the Treasurer, Mr. Ramesh, in agreement with the numbers that we audited for that year ended 31 December 2021. And we went through due process, presented our audit plan before we started executing it to the Finance and Administration Committee, and then went through the approvals of the financial statements through the Finance and Admin Committee to the board, and that audit report was signed off, which for purposes of minuting and for purposes of this AGM, Chairman, allow me to read through the two critical paragraphs of our audit opinion for that year. Report on the audit of the financial statements. We have audited the financial statements of Uganda Manufacturers Association, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31 December 2021, and the statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and cash flows for the year then ended. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of Uganda Manufacturers Association as at 31 December 2021, and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and the Companies Act of Uganda. The other part of our opinion, Chairman and members, is the report on other legal and regulatory matters. As required by the Companies Act of Uganda, we report to you members, based on our audit, that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for purposes of our audit. Proper books of accounts have been kept by the association so far as appears from our examination of those books, and the association's statement of financial position and comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. Chairman and members, that is the opinion that we issued on the 29th of July 2022, having gone through due process and approvals through the board of the financial statements which have been presented by the treasurer. I personally was the audit partner in charge of the assignment on behalf of KPMG, and I signed that report on the 29th of July 2022. I thank you, and that's the end of my presentation, Chairman.
Thank you, KPMG. Members, you heard. Now we have 3 assignments. We want your reaction on the audited accounts, your reaction on the treasurer's report, and your reaction on the chairman's report. The floor is open. Feel free to. The microphone will be brought to you. You raise your hand. So that you can contribute. Floor is open, ladies and gentlemen. Members, no comment. Yes, sir. Can you take to him the mic? The base is there. ED also carry sanitizer with you so that you sanitize. There's one here at the microphone. So that every time you give out a microphone, you sanitize.
Okay. My name Chairman, Mukasa Gerald Kalemba. I work for Associated Scale Company. And it so happened that we who have factories outside Kampala, according to what you said, in terms of electricity tariffs, what is there for us to be rejuvenated like those ones who are in city Kampala?
I will ask if Mr. Mubiru is here, I'll ask him to respond. If he's not here, I will respond myself. That in terms of, not only in terms of electricity, but also in terms of corporation tax and the others, that if you are 20 kilometers away from Kampala, you have to benefit from a lower rate, corporation tax rate, than the others. The electricity is still the same for everyone. And more so that you people who are outside Kampala are suffering power outages, which add up to your cost. We are working with the government to see how we lower this. At the moment, they are not able to bring power down for you because they say to bring to you power, they have to go through Umeme. And they have an agreement with Umeme that they charge a given tariff for them to recover their investment. Maybe I'll ask Director Mubiru to respond how the pioneers who are out of Kampala can benefit from the electricity tariff. But what I know now, that you have to wait a little bit until about 2024, 2025, when the current member agreement is renegotiated and tariffs can be brought down for you. Mr. Mubiru, you have something to say.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. What I can confirm is that we have constituted a technical working team comprising WUMA and the Electricity Regulatory Authority. The purpose of this is to tease out the technical details that will allow that. For purposes of giving a trajectory, we see that, Chair, earliest happening in the second half of next year. The details we can keep on sharing through the Secretariat with the membership of WUMA. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I think you guided, that is even better than mine, that something may come midway. But ultimately, the other one has. We are putting pressure. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, another hand there.
Yes, thank you, Chairman and members. I am Innocent Ndongutse from Winifred Fashion Designers. For us, we are into garmenting. Now, you talked about the textile committee.
Okay, but you...
And my issue is more to do with those fabrics we use that are imported. Because in my opinion and experience, the factories we have here, I know members are here, lack on variety and lack on quality vis-a-vis the market dynamics that we have. Is there a way Uganda Manufacturers Association is going to help us that those fabrics whose quality and variety is not here, we are helped to get them in without so much encumbrances? Otherwise, 35% import tax is really a big challenge for us. Thank you.
I think in the same light, I'll ask my director, Mr. Mubiru, to...
Thank you, Chair. First is to say that the duty remission scheme is present. The major challenge we have had with women members is that many don't want to disclose their capacities as well as take accountability for the materials they import in for purposes of ensuring that they reconcile what they bring in duty-free at the level of URA so that they have seamless access to duty remission. The direct answer is that that was taken care of under the ESC regime. You can bring in actually any fabrics that you need for value addition without duty, or when duty is remitted under the scheme. But the responsibility then is that you have to account for what you produce out of those fabrics at URA. Now, the catch-22 is at that point. We have popularized this, and people continue raising the same issue, yet actually, by law, it is not only a Uganda issue. At an ESC level, we have that window. Actually, I can add information that Kenyans, for example, import and convert for AGOA, duty-free. You can do the same in Kampala, but the catch is that you have to account when you utilize. Thank you, Chair.
My member, to put it further, what Director Mubiru is saying, that if there is something that you cannot access locally and you need it to use it in your production, every year there is a window by Uganda Revenue Authority that invites us to apply for duty remission. And when you apply for duty remission, you say this fabric, tariff number so and so, I use it to produce this. It is not available in the country. And you also have to state the quantity you are going to import in the year. Then when you will be granted, after looking around and they said that true, this fabric is not available, you'll be granted a quantity to produce. So the quantity you produce, you use, you import, you have to account for it. It's like putting something in a bonded warehouse and taking it out. So you can, in the numbers I told you to take the executive director, because every time, maybe we have to improve on our communication to members so that we do it in a way, because most of our communication comes from communication. So we are going to twitch to see, because if so much information comes to you, sometimes you may forget to do what? You may not take it seriously, but this information comes to you every year of duty remission. And if you don't know how to do it, come to EMA. They will guide you. We have a whole department that will help you to apply and tell you your obligations. Thank you very much. Yes, Director Kabeho.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, members. My name is Simon Kaheru from Coca-Cola Beverages Africa. Chair, I rise to thank you, of course, for your very wise, able, and stable leadership so far, and for your remarks, your communication. And I would like to highlight on the note that you just ended regarding duty remission, the issue of industrial sugar that you mentioned squarely. And I want members here to appreciate the work that UMA has done to help the users of industrial sugar, ourselves, the bottlers of soft drinks, some alcoholic products, confectioners, because we have faced this challenge for a year now, one whole year of facing disruptions to production because of government policy changes that are ill-advised. And for the member of textiles, I want to highlight that we must use UMA as much as possible to go to the government in order to realign the way the government does things. Every time we try to do things on our own as individual companies, it is increasingly difficult because we all have different interests at some points. As you mentioned, the supplier of industrial sugar, potential supplier, is a member of UMA. The users of industrial sugar are also members of UMA. We found ourselves in government corridors engaged in fights, which fights were not helping our production or bottom line. If we had had the conversations here at UMA, we would have gone to the government together to advise government about how to pursue their policy correctly. I am happy that today we are arriving at that point. In fact, Chair, I thank you for the sitting arrangement because the chair of the Uganda Sugar Manufacturers Association is here. So we have been whispering. I apologize for talking while you were talking, but we have been whispering to sort issues out. This is the power of UMA. We come together here so that all manufacturing benefits and also so that we guide Uganda, we guide the government. So Chair, I thank you for leading that agenda and I ask all members, please use UMA to run this economy so that your businesses thrive. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any other? Yes, you have a hand at the back. Can you take the mic?
Thank you very much. My name is Muhweriza Jacqueline and I work with Belazuri. It's a startup manufacturing color cosmetics for the first time in East Africa and skincare. Some issue we have, and I would want to know how UMA is going to help companies that are starting up and have affiliation with Europe. Belazuri has an affiliation with German, and we're getting all German technology to Uganda so that we actually manufacture here. So we've not been helped as much on how to handle our manufacturing because there is a lot of taxation onto us and we don't know, or we've not been helped by UMA as new startups, manufacturers who are bringing technology to Uganda. We don't have that contact person. After registration, there is no follow-up on what is actually happening on ground with these companies. So we struggle finding information to help, which would have actually helped us, maybe reduce on the cost, especially as startups. And thus we incur much more costs, yet organizations like UMA should help such startup companies to develop further and also encourage more startup companies to work in Uganda.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I have to apologize that we came to you to pick money and we gave you a certificate, and we didn't give you the necessary information that would help you to use UMA effectively. This is good feedback for us, and we are going to change going forward. But to give you information that UMA and its own committees and units has incubation programs that deal with startups that can help you to walk you through the requirements. And if you have any problem as a paid up member, really we shall, and by this I command the Secretariat to follow up with you immediately and resolve. And if any member here is struggling, there's no need for us to be here and start claiming EMA, we are helping, SMEs, if you cannot do the basic things. So my apologies, but we have and we shall help you to struggle with the, I hope the cosmetics does not include the bleaching, because we want to have our African women as Africans. This is just a joke. So, my lady, please take the numbers. And you and Secretariat, please take this feedback and realign yourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm David Bukenya, a Managing Director, Content Designers. On behalf of UMA, I've always handled your international exhibitors. In this last trade fair, I handled Taiwan. It was a big team of investors. My observation is whenever they come, they are interested in partnering with local investors, one. Two, they are interested in setting up farms or plantations in our country. And as UMA, I've not seen or I've not heard on the follow-up on such international exhibitors. They come to showcase, but also to be identified with with the local traders. If this could come out in the report, that out of the international exhibitors that we got from India, from Taiwan, from Italy, we're able to link our SMEs or local manufacturers with this, and hence this is going to help our growth. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. That's good feedback. But maybe to give you some more information, that during the trade fair, we arranged B2B, business-to-business forums, and we expect, and we also put in those meetings our staff, and we also expect that the B2B are the ones to result into partnerships, into working together, into supplies. Talking about Taiwan, I was one of the beneficiaries of the Taiwan delegation. The delegation that is now based in Somaliland, we are working on providing some of the things that they were getting from Somaliland, from Uganda. I have the working relationship with Longoya, which is a Taiwanese company, and was also at the exhibition, and we have done quite a lot of work after the exhibition. So maybe what we need is a tracking system to track these things, because like for me, maybe my board doesn't know that I'm working with Taiwan because of the B2B we had. So we need to put in place a tracking mechanism. Thank you very much. Any other? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. James Kalibala. I'm a member of the Advisory Council, former chairman. I manufacture transformers. I want to add to your apology for the lady who said, but what I want to emphasize is UMA do things which are demand-driven. There are many members who don't benefit because they don't demand these things. So you must walk into this place and demand. Was it Mr. Kaheru who said, said he's networking? Because as we sit here, talk to each other, that's the way things are done. We must find a way of asking our members to come and demand. There are things which you are not providing, but which you can provide if you demand it. So it's a demand-driven way of doing business, and you promised to go there, but I doubt how many places you can afford to go to. So please use the association, and I think you won't regret. But associations, as an association coming to you may not work really. We need to be mindful of that. Thank you.
Thank you. We are well guided, sir. Let's have two more hands and then we cross. We have this one and the gentleman in the blue there. Aye. Okay.
Thank you,
We
Chair.
have two from this side and two from this side. Director Jim and the lady. Let's have the first two set.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Richard Luyombia from Ovid Products. Chair, there's something I wanted to find out from you if it has reached your desk, issue concerning excise duty on cosmetics, particularly the administration of excise duty, particularly in harmonization of, let me read this statement here because this is a message from we got internally. While manufacturers in other sectors enjoy favorable tax treatment characterized by lower rates for locally manufactured products, or those manufactured using locally sourced raw materials, the beauty and personal care industry is faced with generalized tax treatment that levies a uniform rate on both categories of both products, regardless of the source of the products or inputs into the manufacture of the final product. This regards excise duty harmonization. Briefly, the question is why is the beauty and personal care industry has a different rate from the others in terms of taxation of raw materials? I hope you have. I just want to find out if that reached your desk.
Taxation of raw materials or exercise duty on products? I think we need to be clear.
Exercise duty on products. Sorry.
On products, okay. I'll ask Director Mubiru to respond, but generally responding that, taxation is divided in a number of bands. One of the bands is what they call the FMG. FMG is where beauty and cosmetics, beer, sodas and the others, fast-moving goods, government tended to look at them as a money generator and easy to correct. What we have to advocate for is not the exercise duty, but the rate. Director Mbiru.
Thank you, Chair. These and other concerns were picked, I remember very well, during the trade fair when we interacted with the Minister of Finance at the sidelines of the trade fair. And the confirmation we have had from government is that they are willing to revisit this. You will recall that we had the Director Economic Policy with us here. And one of the things that we're already running with is actually this excise duty, not only for cosmetics, but also for other items, because it has been distortive. Chair, what I can commit is that it will be revisited, but unfortunately only during the 2023-24 budget, because no such changes can be done mid over the financial years. But we have taken note, and what we could say is to keep on really sharing information, because information has been seen to be the greatest tool that we have as WUMA to better advocate for members.
Thank you. Can we move? There's a blue, the gentleman.
It is me.
No, okay. Do, and then we go to the other gentleman.
Mine is a comment, Mr. Chairman. You thanked the staff, and we came from far to reach this stage of good performance.
Yes.
And if we are looking at our accounts, we saw the auditor's report. I think all is good and fine. It's therefore a challenge for the members of our secretariat to keep this up.
Thank you.
The second one is, this is AGM where all members are here. The last retreat we had this week in Chobe, which I attended with the chairman, URA was there, and we had a lot of interaction with the Commissioner General. We still have a lot of problems, especially in administration, where the tax collectors do a lot of disturbance, and he agreed that he is going to change the style if only we give him feedback. So we request members, when you are harassed or not well treated by URA, please give this information so we can forward it, and we try to change the setup, their mentality to a new way. They are in agreement, and we are going to be meeting regularly, so it's important that we submit. Finally, the members as AGM, there are so many manufacturers there who are not part of us. We should help the membership secretariat here to convince them to join, because what you are enjoying, I'm sure they would enjoy, so that we expand and reduce the burden to a few of us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much for the positive comment. Let's have two. The gentleman and the lady will be the last, and then we'll move on to the next agenda item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and all the members. My name is Daniel. I work with Gabi Packaging. We deal in non-oven bags. And here we have been having several challenges, mostly on the imported things that we import in, as in the raw materials. But first of all, I want to thank you for the response, because recently we landed in new office, UNBS, and I want to thank you that you handed us a certain team, and our issue was followed up, and they have started communicating to us. We thank you for that great work. Non-oven is a biodegradable bag which can rot in the soil, and this has been in this land for from 2012 up to now. It is gaining strength every day, but it has a challenge where one time we approached these people of UNBS who makes the standards of our goods that we use here, and they informed us that they have put a standard which is 80 GSM, that is grammage per square meter. And this thing, if you look at it, it is too heavy. One time I was in Tanzania, and they passed 70 GSM. As I talk, like 2 years, there are like 50 companies which have closed up because they cannot run the business with that grammage. But the same thing has come here as well. When we approached them, they said, we passed this standard. We asked them, did you consult from the manufacturers of this? Or did you consult from people who are making this? They said, no. So here I bring a question or a point of concern. How can we be helped in this, that the standard can be revised? That is my question.
Thank you. Fortunately, the Uganda Manufacturers Association is very well organized in sectors. We have a sector that handles your business. I'm sure you know that there is a packaging, I don't know the full name, sector, that through them, then you come to us together. Because the challenge we have to deal with individual companies, not through the sector, is when you come here, you give us one story. Your competition comes, you are in the same sector. So we agreed that you resolve the issue down. For now, I request you to contact the Secretariat, who will guide you and convene the sector meeting. Then you agree on the kind of standards that you want. You also reference with regional and international standards, and then get back to UNBS. Fortunately, one of our elders, as I told you, sits on the UNS board and is an engineer. He can effectively represent this matter and get it resolved. He has resolved so many problems for us. That is the minor one, and we shall handle. Thank you. Last, the lady.
Good afternoon. I'm from Sal Extra Food, and we are manufacturing like snacks from maize. First, the challenge we have, it is the aflatoxin on the maize. You know, like it has disturbed us a lot. Even UNBS, we failed many times because of that issue. That is the first things, because, and the issue of aflatoxin, it is like 2 years now in Uganda. I don't know how we can, I don't know, solve that problem of the maize. That is my first things. Second things is the flavor. It is very challenging. We have to look for the flavors. We have to contact South Africa or even Kenya. My request is why we don't have here at least an agent for flavoring, like for the chicken barbecue. You know what I mean about. It is very challenging. You have to wait 3 months until the ship bring your flavoring to make your snacks ready. And also the aflatoxin. That is two things. It is too challenging to us as a new manufacturer for snacks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This one I'm going to answer without referring to my technical guys. Number one is the aflatoxins. This is a serious problem, but it cuts across sectors, not only manufacturing. Mainly, it is from the agricultural side. Then it goes to the grain, like we have a grain council who also supports the grain storage. And this is where aflatoxins normally accumulate in the maize because of storage and molding and yeast, all this much. Government is working on a silo program, putting silos everywhere. But you could also, as a business, try to manage this by buying directly and buying fresh maize, freshly dried maize, so that, and store it properly to avoid the aflatoxins. It's a big menace, and we have engaged the grain sector you remember the blockage we got from Kenya, where Kenya could not take our maize because of aflatoxins. But we have now resolved. The problem can be handled by sensitization, working with the right partners, and resolve it. Then number two, flavors. Ma'am, are you in private sector business? You're in private sector? This is a business opportunity for you. You can't find the flavors, and you are in this business. Not so? And other people are in this business. Take this as a business opportunity and benefit from it by being the first supplier of flavors in Uganda, because you understand the market, you are consuming it. If you want to partner with someone, come to EMI. We shall identify a partner for you. This is a business opportunity for us. It is not a problem. It's not. Take it up in that regard. Thank you very much. It's okay. Okay. I've been informed by my vice chairman that we already have a member that has aflatoxin scraper. It's located in Soroti, and as I told you, Pera Commodities. And as I told you, when we come here, we don't come to eat or listen. We also come to do business. We are business people. Take the numbers. Make sure before you leave, you take the number. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are racing against time, but there is one important thing that we did not attend to as we started the meeting. Last year we held an annual general meeting and we produced minutes. The minutes are before you, and there are not so many issues to handle on the minutes. There are a few pages. And before we go into the discussion, I would love to convince myself that you read the minutes and you can correct the English. Yes, sir.
Economic Subcommittee.
Mr. Nkutu, when the chairman is talking, he's the one talking. We did a few I request that the Secretariat guides us on the resolutions we had, which I see on minute 8, 2021, amendment of the Memorandum of Association, paragraph 8 of the Memorandum of Association was amended to ensure regulatory compliance by inserting Uganda shillings 100,000 at the amount guaranteed by each member. Our secretary is here. Can you take us through the resolutions?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and the meeting at large. As indicated on page 10 of the minutes, we had discussed at the last meeting certain pertinent amendments that needed to be made to the Memorandum of Association and Articles of Association in order to ensure that we are compliant with the Companies Act. If you look at minute 8, this related to the fact that much as UMA is an organization that is limited by guarantee, our previous Memorandum of Association had not stated the amount that each member pledged to contribute as a guarantee to the association. And so we had passed a resolution changing that by including the figure of 100,000 shillings. That resolution passed and the relevant notification was given to the company's registry. And then moving on to minute 9, there were certain amendments that were proposed and passed by the members in relation to updating the Articles of Association. The first one is set out as the new Article 2B, where we noted that the previous number of members indicated in the articles was outdated by the increase in numbers in the association, and the proposal was to increase. At the time we had the meeting last December, we had over 600 members, and the meeting proposed that the membership limit should be increased to 1,000 to reflect that the fact that we are 600 and growing. And therefore that was the amendment that was passed to say that UMA membership can go up to a limit of 1,000, which also informs us that when we hit this 1,000 limit and are still growing, there will be need to pass another amendment to increase the number further. Moving on to amendment to Article 2C, that is paragraph B. Excuse me. We also noted that the subscribers to the original Memorandum of Association were only 7 individuals, and yet the membership is expanded to other entities and that have not subscribed individually to the Memorandum of Association. So we passed Article 2C to capture that the persons and entities that are not handwritten in the Memorandum of Articles of Association are nevertheless members of UMA. That was the purpose of the amendment of 2C. Paragraph C relates to Article 18, which provided for a mode of succession, that when members select a vice chair for the board, there will be a succession plan to ensure that the vice chair succeeds to the chairmanship, such that whenever there is an incoming, or rather an incumbent chairperson, the incumbent chairperson has the responsibility of mentoring the vice chair so that there is continuity in terms of the operations of the organization. That is the amendment for Article 18, to provide for an orderly transition from vice chair to chair. Moving on to paragraph D. This is 18, an insertion of Article 18A, which provides for the prerogative of the chairperson. The annual general meeting votes in 18 members of the board, and Article 18A is passed to give the chairman support to appoint 4 additional technical members who he feels are relevant to the operations of UMA, and this expands the board from 18 to 22 members. So Article 18A was to give the chairman the prerogative to appoint 4 additional members to the board whose technical capacity, expertise, or experience is beneficial to the board. Moving on to F, the insertion of Article 32A. This was a prerogative of the outgoing chairperson, our Honorable Excellency Barbara Mulwana, who advised that to reflect the realities of Ugandan society, where more than 50% of the citizenry are women, the board composition at UMA should also reflect this by having at least 1/3 of the members of the board to be women. Members, ladies and gentlemen, all these amendments to the Memorandum and Articles of Association were reduced to resolution form and filed with the URSB, and we have accordingly amended our Memorandum of and Articles of Association and filed also the amended Memorandum and Articles of Association with the URSB. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think members were guided. Where this was done, and it is in our memos. Thank you. Moving on, I would like to ask to adopt the chairman speak, the treasurer speak, the minutes of the previous annual general meeting, and the accounts as presented. We are going to do one by one. Chairman speak. Anybody proposing that we adopt it? Thank you. Anybody? Thank you. Treasurer's report. Treasurer's report. Thank you. You say your name, please. Okay. Financial statements, audited financial statements, 2021. Mr. Mayondo, thank you for proposing. And who is seconding? Thank you very much. Then lastly, the minutes for the AGM. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have handled the first part of the business. Now we want to go second part of the business. The second part of the business is mainly guidance from our elders. Sorry, I've been guided that we need to move a motion to appoint KPMG to audit our accounts for another year. Anybody seconding? KPMG? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. KPMG is appointed to audit our books for another year. They have done a very good job. I commend you. And KPMG does not only stop on auditing. They are giving us and our members coaching to present how to present financial statements and some lessons in financial literacy. We have a group of experts, and they are part of them, that we shall be inviting every now and then to give you financial literacy. Our next point on the agenda is to invite OHT Wakadu Chiveru to address us on matters of development. Microphone.
Chairman, Advisory Council, and your board, Chairman, Uganda Manufacturers Association, and the board, all the committees of the association, board committees of the association, and members of our great association. I greet you all. First of all, I want to congratulate each one of you for having gone through the years 220 and 221. Those were difficult years. Personally, I had never seen such, and I don't wish to see it again. But again, I want to congratulate the chairman of the association and the members for the great job you have done. You know, that table there of PhD people, as you can see them, look at their heads. That's when you'll know. Poor hair distribution. They are very important to this association. Without those people, and those who were here before us, maybe the association wouldn't be there. So we've been talking, and one of the members was saying that when you go and they ask you, what did you do? Their answer is a pride for all. They did this where we are enjoying today. I want to thank Mr. Abid Alam. It was not easy to build this hall. He was the chairman of the association then. When I brought the idea to him, he was a little hesitant. But after a long discussion, he gave in, and the foundation was done. Again, I would like to thank Mr. Kalibala, because when Mr. Abid Alam left, it was only a shell. He managed to put a roof. And now the rest is history. My work was to push. Where everybody was getting stuck, said, don't get stuck. Go ahead and do it. And they did it. Thank you so much. Especially Mr. Lam. It was not easy for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why am I here? I must say I'm one of those who are lucky, because I was here when we were beginning this race. So I have seen it all. But there is one thing, I don't know whether it is a mistake, but sometimes I say, no, it was not a mistake. The situation then forced us to do what we were doing. But it is very, very unfortunate. Today, you are still on the same song. You see, for us, Kampala Road was full of holes, bombs which were dug by bombs. There was no standing industry in Uganda. Therefore, when UMA came in place, it was fire, 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 fighting. My humble question, are we still firefighting? And for how long you people will keep on going to the government? Tax reduction, tax reduction, tax reduction. For how long? Since '86, when you stand before the president, Your Excellency, the taxes are too much. Reduce for us. 87 comes. Your Excellency, tax is too much. We are now in 2020. The same song. What is the difference in our appearance? Again, we are going through the chairman's report, and we are just observing the drop in our membership. Why do you think people close down? Why do you think people close down? Is it because of high taxes? Is it because of high bank interests? Rentals? What is it? The simple way, the way I see this, in a very, very simple manner, is we lack market. You see, the presidents of those, say, the superpowers and what have you, their work, main work for trade, for manufacturers, they go from country to country looking for market. Not for investors, for market. Again, I'm putting it to you. What can you sell outside this country? We were in our house. We should not shy away from the problem. Let us look at the problem critically. Who is going to buy my paint? Who is going to buy your soda? People are poor. They don't have any earning. That's why you see today, because people are trying as much as possible to live the lives they don't deserve to live. That's why you see fake products flowing into this country. My humble question again. Has your chairman gone to the government for the bill of fake products to go through the parliament? Why can't the government pass this bill? This was done, I think, the first time we presented this bill to parliament. I think, was it Kalibala or Abid? Was it your time? The bill was presented to the government. But why can't the government pass this bill? Of course, the president was really in support of it. He was even telling us what should be included in the bill. But in the middle there, things just died out. So the market is full of fake products. And to make it worse, even on the drugs we consume, some drugs are fake. Pesticides. I've ventured into farming and I've seen it myself. I had to go to Kenya to look for the genuine supplier so that I can buy the pesticide and bring it to Uganda. Otherwise, on Uganda market, poor farmers, what do you expect? Therefore, I think I want to urge my brother here. I think priority number one is to have this bill passed. When you go to the president, just say, we want the bill passed, nothing else. Because once this bill is passed, there are so many industries which are going to revive just automatically. A farmer, whatever, everybody, I'm telling you. You are talking of these silos. Yes, silos are very important. But what are you going to put in the silos? Can you start with the roof before the frame? It is the frame. Here we used to have cooperative societies. Why? It's because we had plenty of products, foods. In fact, I learned this from, you're coming from India. Eh? Yeah, I went to India to look for this and I saw it with my eyes. You people, you are crying for hunger. But today, a friend of mine in India told me, we are crying for hunger, now we are crying for plenty. And we are crying because of plenty. But what did the government do? They started with helping people, poor people. You know, most of their areas are flat. They come, they dig. When they finish digging, they pour water. Isn't it? Everybody is given a small kabanja. And they plant. The government got too much rice. What was the next? Silos. They grew too much maize. What was next? Silos. I think, you know, I've been doing this down, but now I'm tired. But now, since we have these fresh ones, I think let us go for issues which will make us stand today and tomorrow. Let's forget about this business of fighting for today. You fight for today, forgetting that you will be there another so many years. Let's fight for something which will help us. I was just here and I told the Secretariat, supposing we came out as UMA front runners and say, let us aim at creating more jobs. By creating more jobs, you are creating the market for yourselves. I can't earn and refuse to spend. And we're just talking about just a figure of 1 million jobs. Just 1 million. We give ourselves a target that we need a 10-year program whereby each year 1 million jobs is created. Don't say it is difficult. It is the easiest. But the mind is not there. That's why the Bazungu say, where there is will, there is way. Because you don't have the will to create the jobs, jobs will never be. But if you put it in your mind that today, let's forget this business of going to the government, tax, and we tell them, look here, we want jobs to be created. How? Go through all the industries you had, especially A industries, primarily A. Secondary, don't. Because Uganda today, we are saturated with secondary industries. Very few. I must commend my brother there, Aga here. At least you are dealing with the grassroots people creating jobs. Have you ever asked yourselves that if the government came out strongly and said, this year we must ensure that the textile industry is restored back to its past glory. Textile industry only, how many jobs would you have created? Because I remember going to this part of Busoga, Busembatia, whatnot. All those places were full of ginaries. They were employing people. They are all. We had Kawempe textile mill. We had Imbali. And the peak fair is not producing at a peak. If they are at 50%, I'll be surprised. But that industry alone used to employ almost 10,000 people. That one, Nightil, At least I managed to visit that one in its old glory. So, members, let us all go back, sleep over this, on how we can create 1 million jobs. And Mr. Chairman, I think the last time we interacted with the government, we had reached a point of softening them to have UDC, Uganda Development Corporation, because this was the arm of the government which was putting up primary A industries. But because of this liberalization, the confusion we had, UDC was put to sleep. But of late, UDC is being revived. And I would request Mr. Chairman to capitalize on that, especially on MUCO. Because we are talking about MUCO. Because, see, the government was saying, look here, you people of private sector, go and mine. You know, because I had gone there personally, and they said, look here, Your Excellency, mining, yes, I would love to, but do I have the resources? I think developing in MUCO, you know better. You need $1 billion. Yes, $1 billion. But after investing that $1 billion, how many jobs would you have created? More than 2 million. We have the resources, but because the will is not there. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to end by thanking you for coming in big force and to encourage you to continue from where we left everything for a better, so that when we come back here, we say, wow, the board of Kayemba did this. I think that is the only thing. The board of Kayemba did this. But 1 million jobs is necessary. 1 million jobs will save us. I thank you for always being there for UMA, and please keep UMA at heart. UMA is there to solve your problems. UMA is not there just to come and collect money. They are there to collect, to see to it that ye flourish. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think the approach is not enough. Give OHT another approach. Because, you know, sometimes you listen to speakers and they are reading, they are not speaking from their heart. I have to inform you that in this initiative, OHT Wakadu Chiveru has started a cotton, regrowing cotton through farmers. He gives out seeds, and as manufacturers, we commit to support you by uptaking your cotton, gain it, and then we move. Probably others will learn from that. On the issue you have raised of the counterfeit bill, we were on it during Mr. Nze's regime, and somehow it died, but Mr. Mubiru, you are guided, because you can't produce, because you produce at a higher cost than our friends across. And if they bring in fakes, then you have a bigger problem. Thank you very much. If any of you would like to react to which he was speak, please raise your hand. But yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, thank you, and in a special way, Ochtiwa, thank you so much for that speech. You may have spoken about a number of things, but trust me, you have spoken to my heart. Because for me, textiles in Africa is a personal matter. It's a personal matter. It is one thing I dream to achieve. If it's only that and I die, I'll be happy. Because I have done extensive reading and research, trying to understand textiles and why we can't do like Turkey does, like our neighbors here in Egypt do, yet our cotton is one of the best in the world. That has disturbed me. That whenever I engaged some Indian friends, and we came up with a full plan to put up another factory here for textiles, a 30,000 spindles factory, vertically integrated. So when Ochtiwa was speaking, I felt he was reading the script in my head. I felt I was walking with him every step. I don't know what to say. I felt like standing up, go and hug him and come back. I thought people would think I'm a madman. So I had to control myself. But trust me, that shall be achieved. That, I want to repeat myself without missing any words. That will be achieved. We shall have that factory here. And producing not just fabrics, but fabrics that meet standards. Not just our national standards, but international standards. I've been looking at AGOA and what they are asking for. These are real basics. These are basics of fabrics. I don't know why we are not able to have basics of fabrics. I have a quarrel with our factories here. Invest in research, friends. Invest in research. It's a small matter. Invest in research. When you have a good product on the market, you define the price. But you don't define a price because you have the privilege of being alone in the market. Define the price because you have the quality that meets our standards as a humanity, not just in Uganda, but we should take your fabric to Turkey and compete. You should take your fabric to US, to Italy and other countries I've been to that have very good fabrics and compete. Why is this not happening? So, Ochtiwa, thank you so much. God bless you for me and for this country.
Thank you very much. That was passionate. Ochtiwa, you know now that you have followers. You know these things, you don't just, it comes from your heart. And if you have followers, and many of us, then we shall move. At this juncture, I would like to invite the chairman of the advisory board to come and address us. Sanitizer, please. Sanitizer.
Thank you, Chair. Members of the advisory board present, Mr. Kaduki Beru, Mr. James Kalibala, the chairman of the board and all your members present, the members of the Uganda Manufacturers Association present, and all other invited guests. I think one thing that hasn't come out clearly in this meeting is this is probably around the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, annual general meeting of the UMA. So you can just imagine from the humble beginnings, from where the UMA started to where it is today. So it's really gone a long distance and has contributed directly to the transformation of industry and business in Uganda. So it really has a very, very big place in the history of this country. I speak to you today as the chairman of the advisory board. Our advisory board basically consists of members who you can see in this book here. But it was set up for the purposes of looking after the UMA, the estates of the Uganda Manufacturers Association, and the future of the association. It was set up by the late James Mulwana. He was the first chairman, and his vision was to make sure that the UMA always focuses on the business and the industrial interests of the country. So this is what our board continues to do. At present, our board consists of our patron, who is Mr. Aga Sekalala, there's Kaduki Beru, there's Mayur Madwani, James Kalibala, Gordon Wawamuno, Amos Onzei, and Barbara Mulwana. These are mostly past chairpersons of the UMA board. And of course, Mr. Deo Kayamba will be joining us after his tenure. So he will begin also to understand the importance of the advisory board. The advisory board, the board, the UMA now has a new executive director. We look forward that the UMA will have more interaction now with government and be able to set some standards whereby manufacturing begins to become a little bit more economically effective in terms of the costs of doing business. I think one of the biggest problems today is the cost of doing business. So it's one of the things that this board plus the executive director has to work hard on to make sure that we remain competitive. And as my brother Kaduki Beru said, the markets are our biggest challenge. So we need to work hard on the markets. We need to create those jobs, and we need to create more and more consumption. So this is something which we should take seriously up ourselves to make sure that this message goes to the people and to the government. The idea is also that we should be able to get cheaper inputs and more locally available products. I think for all of us here present, we are happy with the financial report that the UMA presented today. 2 years of COVID has had a huge impact on the association's operations, but the board, the chairman and the board have been able to keep the UMA running and so we really wish to commend them for that. Going forward, we expect that there should be much more activity and we should see more and more new things happening. So definitely with the support of everyone, the chairman and his board should be able to move forward more effectively. I think we'd like to thank also the organizers of this annual general meeting. We have election for the board members and the chairman every 2 years. So this board will continue to run another 1 year. Another 1 year, is it? Plus, a little bit more than a year, eh? 1 year. 1 year. So I think you can use them as much as you can. Judging from their effectiveness, I think they'll be re-elected another term. So we hope the best for that. We ask them to also work hard on membership, to work hard on listening to the members, to take up issues with the government so that our members complaints are seriously addressed. I think with these words, we look forward to a brighter year ahead for 2023, and we wish all of you a really Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and all the best in the year ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Round of applause, please. Thank you very much for the guidance, and we are always grateful for the guidance of the advisory board. Now, last item on the agenda, Secretariat staff, please come here and so that the members see you. Come, all of you. Secretariat, please come so that the members see you. Those of you who are in this room. Yes. Then after this, we shall have a general picture for the members and the board and the advisory board. One big picture. Ladies, please come. What are you doing? Come. Come and the members see you. Sarah, that side, we're starting from. No. Okay. You speak. Come, Kutu. Okay, you can have the mic. Just name and what you are in UMA.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ezra Rubanda, Executive Director.
Mubaraka Chirunda Nkutu, Director Business Development.
I'm Cesar Mtana Mwanguzi, Finance Manager.
Lydia Tsime, Communication Officer.
Philip Mugera, Admin Officer.
Sarah Nanziri, Policy Analyst.
Collins Agaba, Policy Analyst.
James Ongora, Policy Analyst, also Project Officer.
Sylvia Zarango, Membership Officer, and in charge of the Western and Northern region as well.
Sharifa Kawase, Membership Officer in charge of Trade Fairs.
Kato Anthony Mwanje, Accounts Clerk. Mulema Hakim, Policy Analyst.
Nelly Badja, Eastern Regional Officer.
Eugene Mowiru, Accounts Department.
Elizabeth Nabule, Project Clerk. Evelyn Simire, Policy Analyst.
Hasfana Reiso, Membership Officer.
Thank you very much. That is the team at Uganda Manufacturers Association. You can step aside. Now, next is your board. Standing before you, my name is Deo J.B. Kayemba, Chairman of the board. On my right,
Agase Kalala Jr., Vice Chairman.
On my
Ramesh Babu, President.
now members of the board of UMA, please stand. Kutu, microphone is there.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Richard Mubiru, board member, and I chair the Economic and Policy Board Committee.
My name is Senyondo Mansour. I chair the training committee.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Simon Kaheru, board member, and I chair the Marketing, Communications and Events Committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephen Kalibala, and I chair the Estates Committee. Thank you.
Then, Mr. Kut. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon. Lydia Mwesigwa. I stand in for membership committee. Mesha Steele, thank you so much.
Okay. Last introduction. That side.
Good afternoon. Nampomba Shaida. I'm standing in for Mr. Zhang Hao, the MD Liaosheni Industrial Park Kapeka. Thank you.
Thank you for the representation. Then last, our secretary to the board.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brian Kwame Emuron. I am the company secretary for UMA and secretary to the board.
Thank you very much. That is your MA members. The last item is a group photo. I'd like the secretariat to arrange it. Having no other business to discuss, I'd like to adjourn the annual general meeting until another date that will be communicated for the year 2023. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming and giving time to this very important event. Thank you. Group photo, please.
Tugenda kuteeka wano ndowooza. Hassan, can we have some chairs at the front? Thanks. This one is done. Think about the board and advisor can sit. Board and advisor. It's no problem.
We are going to have the photo of the advisory and the board. And then they will stay. The rest of the members will just come and stand behind them and sides so that everyone is in the photo. Make sure you stand somewhere where the cameras can be able to see you.
Mr. Senyondo, why don't you sit?
Sit. Yeah. We remove them? Members, let's be quick. Let's join the board for a group photo. I know some of us are biting something, but it will stay safe on your table. Make sure at least we get a glimpse of your nice faces. Yes. Yes, please, everyone that attended, whether in direct or indirect capacities, please stand and we utilize this opportunity. Yes. You can stand behind, because I am very sure the word woman will stay. However tall you are, please move. Yes. Yes. I'll ask you to address it. Please, members, move. Come on, want to do. Some 2 members are coming. Yes, we just hold a bit. You could move a little bit and use that space so that we are very sure. You were about to be in. Eh? Just squeeze more, you'll be perfectly in. All right, I'm told Secretariat staff, there is a group photo for you. Come back to the... One more announcement.
Something about ERTF.
Yes.
ERTF.
One more announcement. We have one more announcement. Please go for it.
Thank you, Edie. Members, this is just for planning purposes. We shall be having our Eastern Regional Trade Fair come 30th May to 6th June in Mbale. So as you make your budgets, please do budget for it also. Thank you. Secretariat staff, you need to take a photo. Secretariat, wherever you are, please. Members, come over. Okay. Members, I also want to announce that we still have some food, we still have some tea. Please make sure that you don't leave this behind for us. This was meant for you, members. Please feel free, go and serve more.